Hey guys, this is Ty, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about YouTube gear that you as a content creator probably use some of this. And I'm going to be giving you 4 pieces of gear that I believe is totally overrated and 4 pieces of gear that is totally underrated. So stick around. First things first, let me say welcome to the channel. I appreciate your time today. You know, I've been a content creator on YouTube for about 2.5 years now, and some of the things I've learned have been beneficial. There's some pieces of hardware out there, pieces of equipment that are very helpful, and some that are not so helpful. Some that are a good investment for your channel, and some that might not be. And that's what I want to talk about today. So we're going to be going over underrated and overrated items. I'll tell you what, let's start with the overrated items first. Save the best for last. Overrated items as a content creator. One of the things that I think is highly overrated for someone who's not a professional videographer or someone who edits photos is Photoshop. There's just too many bells and whistles for somebody like me. And really all that I would use it for is to maybe touch up a few photographs, to create thumbnails. And if all you're looking for is to create thumbnails, there's lots of other products out there. Many of my other content creator friends have their own recommendations. I've heard of things like Canva. I know that Filmora has their own thumbnail creator that I use. So there's a lot of different options out there. And Adobe Photoshop, again, too many bells and whistles, too confusing, too much of a learning curve for me. Coming right into it, I tend to stay away from it. Another product that I would say is highly overrated, especially if you're a content creator and you're just starting out, is like a really expensive camera. You just don't need it. Now, it does sound kind of counterproductive, doesn't it? That I'm telling you that if you have a YouTube channel, you don't need a very expensive camera, especially if you're motovloggers. And in this case, we're talking about motovlogging. You just don't need it. It's handy to have. It's great to have. I personally have a Sony ZV-1. It's what I'm actually filming me on right now. It's a great camera. It runs about $750. It's pretty expensive. It does a fantastic job, but if you are starting out, there's some other inexpensive options that we're going to go over in just a few minutes that I think might suit you better. So this would probably be another product that I would say exercise a little bit of caution on. Now, the next 2 pieces of gear that I have for you that I believe are overrated, some of you guys out there might disagree with me, and you know what? That is perfectly acceptable if you do. It's okay. But it would have to be this guy right here, the Insta360 camera, or really any 360 camera. I don't mean to single this one out, but any 360 camera. And one of the reasons I say it's overrated, now it makes great shots. I would not recommend that you use it for every video that you have. It does some really cool tricks, but it adds a ton of labor to creating a video. It's just one of those things. It's something cool to have in your bag of tricks, but I wouldn't use it all the time. And I would probably, again, exercise caution when paying for something like this. Oh, you're going to look at spending anywhere from like maybe $450 to $550 on a 360 camera, depending on what camera you buy and what package that you get that comes with it. And the 4th item that I would say is a little bit overrated would have to be this. Helicopter effect on a drone, but anyway, would be a drone. This drone that I have right here is the DJI Mavic Mini. It's a couple of versions behind. They have the 3 that's out now, maybe the 4, I'm not 100% sure. But one of the things that this has in common with the 360 camera is you don't want to use it every time, right? It's something to put in your arsenal, to use, to add to your videos ever so often. You don't want to use it every time. You don't want to overexpose your drone footage and that type of thing. But it is a good tool to have. But I do believe it's overrated because as a content creator, again, specifically a motovlogger, do you really need it? And I think the answer to that question is no, you don't need it. but it's cool to have. As far as a price point on a drone, man, you're looking at, you could spend $400 or $500. You could spend $4,000 or $5,000. It really just depends on how much money do you want to throw at it. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. And by the good stuff, I'm talking about items that I would say are underrated as a content creator or a motovlogger. Now, some of these I'm going to show you and tell you about. You're probably going to go, yeah, Ty, duh, I knew that. But these are items that I use on a daily basis when I create my videos, and I wanted to pass this information along to you. Now, you remember just a few minutes ago, we were talking about the Sony ZV-1. Great camera, but I do believe that it is overrated for a traditional motovlogger, let's say. Something that I believe is underrated is the camera on your phone. I have an iPhone, my wife has a Droid. Both are great phones and both have exceptional cameras to them. As a matter of fact, much of the B-roll that you're seeing in this video was shot on this iPhone, and it looks fantastic. It's always near me, it's always accessible, and it's much easier to set up and record than sometimes it is to get out a big bulky camera with a microphone on it and that type of thing. So an underrated camera, especially if you were just starting out as a content creator, give your iPhone a try or give your Droid a try. You just might like the camera in there better than anything else. Now, if you do have a camera like a Sony or a Canon or something like that, a great piece of equipment that I cannot recommend enough is a shotgun mic. I've got a shotgun mic for my Sony ZV-1. It cost me right around $180, and it is fantastic. One of the great things about a shotgun mic is they're plug and play for the most part. You put a battery in them, you plug them into the camera, you turn the switch on, and you are good to go. Versus, I've got a wireless mic set up, but sometimes you've got to get those plugged into the camera, get yourself mic'd up, get everything synced up. When a shotgun mic is just plug and play, it's easy to use, very versatile when you're on the go. I think it works great, and I can't recommend them enough. As motovloggers, when we're trying to capture video, safety is always a concern, right? And one of the things you don't want to do is when you're trying to capture a shot, you don't want to turn your head and take your eyes off the road, or turn this way and take your eyes off the road. Something that I believe can help in that is this GoPro wrist strap. The great thing about this is you're able to just put this on, point it in the direction that you want to film, and capture the video that you want to do. The cool thing about it too is it's versatile. It's got a 360 turn to it, so if you wanted to turn it 180 degrees and film yourself, you can do that. Turn it the other way and you're back filming what's in front of you. I think it works great. It's super inexpensive. This piece of gear is only like maybe right around $50. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on GoPro's website. There's other places that I'm sure you could get one if you needed it. But it is a fantastic piece of equipment. I use it on a pretty regular basis, not all the time, but I do use it often, and I think it works great, especially if you want to capture B-roll when you're going down the road. And last, but definitely not least, you want to invest in yourself. And what do I mean by that? I mean, take some type of photography or videography class. There was a master class that I took by Casey Neustat. I don't know if they're still offering it or not. I've seen it advertised from time to time. Can't even remember the cost of it, maybe $250 or something like that. It lasted several weeks and it was fantastic. And I learned so very much. And now when I'm going back and I'm watching some of Casey Neustat's other videos, you can begin to see his technique and the other technique of other videographers and how they film. And it was well worth the investment. It really helps you translate what's going on in your mind to what others can see in the video on YouTube. And again, I cannot recommend it enough. Invest in yourself, take a class. Well guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate your time today. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up, maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you have an excellent day. We'll talk to you again soon.